There are moments when nothing changes in the room, yet everything shifts inside the body. The same adult, the same child, the same request. And suddenly the air tightens. A sentence lands and the nervous system recoils. Not because the words were unkind, not because the intention was wrong, but because language is never neutral. For some nervous systems, words don't merely communicate, they act, they move, they press, they corner. Today, we are going to talk about language not as instruction, but as environment, as something that can close the exits or quietly leave them open. Hello, and welcome back to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes, and I'm grateful to have you here. When we think about language in education or parenting, we usually think in cognitive terms, clear instructions, appropriate expectations, reasonable requests. But for a PDA nervous system, language is not processed primarily in the thinking brain. It is processed in the threat detection system. Words are assessed not for meaning, but for what they do to autonomy. A sentence can sound polite, calm, even gentle, and still function as a demand, because demand is not defined by volume or tone alone. It is defined by direction. Does the sentence narrow choice? Does it imply obligation? Does it assume compliance? Does it position the speaker above the listener? If the answer is yes, the nervous system hears loss of control. This is why direct language so often backfires. Put your shoes on. Time to start. You need to finish this. None of these are abusive, none are unreasonable. And yet, for a PDA profile, they register as pressure. Not pressure in a moral sense, pressure in a physiological one. Language in this context becomes a force applied to the body. That is why timing matters, why tone matters, why framing matters, and why the same words can feel safe one day and unbearable the next. Because what matters most is not the sentence, but the state of the nervous system receiving it. Imagine a child called Leo. On Monday morning, Leo is relatively settled. He slept. Nothing unexpected happened the night before. His system has a little space. An adult says, "We'll be heading out in 10 minutes. Leo shrugs. He keeps drawing. No explosion, no refusal. On Tuesday morning, everything is different. Sleep was broken. There was an argument in the house. His system is already braced. The same adult says the same word. "We'll be heading out in 10 minutes. And inside Leo, something drops. Not anger, not defiance. A sudden sense of being pushed forward when he has no room to move. His chest tightens. His thoughts scatter. His body searches for an exit. He argues. He distracts. He refuses. He melts down. From the outside, it looks inconsistent. From the inside, it is entirely logical. Because Leo isn't responding to language. He's responding to pressure density. This is what I mean by the shape of a demand. Some demands are sharp and direct, some are heavy and looming, some are light but relentless. The nervous system doesn't measure fairness, it measures force, and language carries force, whether we intend it to or not. This is where adults so often get it wrong. We assume language is a tool for control, for efficiency, for keeping things moving. So when a child reacts badly, we try to fix the wording, we soften it, we explain it, we justify it. But explanation is still direction, and direction is still pressure. What helps is not better persuasion, but a different stance. language that leaves doors open, language that does not assume, language that does not corner the nervous system into a yes or no moment. This is why indirect language so often feels safer, not because it is manipulative, but because it preserves autonomy. It allows the body to stay oriented. It gives space for agency to reappear. When adults treat language as environment rather than instruction, something profound changes. The child no longer has to fight the sentence. The relationship stops feeling like a contest of wills, and regulation becomes possible again. What harms is urgency, moral pressure, language that carries an invisible or else. What helps is curiosity, temporal flexibility, and a deep respect for the fact that words land in bodies, not just ears. For PDA nervous systems, language is never just sound, it is shape, it is weight, it is movement. Words can push or they can make room, they can narrow the world or gently widen it. This is not about walking on eggshells. It is about recognizing that safety is relational and language is one of the most powerful relational forces we have. When we stop trying to make words work and start noticing how they land, we begin to speak in ways the nervous system can hear, not as threat, but as invitation. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious. And if you found this episode helpful, you're very welcome to follow, share, leave a comment, or a rating. I'll speak with you again soon.